This is Josiah Plays Tyranny. We just came to the top of our new spire, the Dawning Spire. And we're going to build a forge up here right now. The forge upgrade allows you to improve weapons and armor and forge powerful new items. Once built, resting in any spire grants a bonus to armor, parry, and dodge. Nice, a bonus to dodge. That's what we need for... That's what we need for verse. Achievement unlocked. Look on my works, ye mighty. Yeah, save the forge for last. Bolus Master of Smiths is here. Oh, look at this place. This place looks pretty cool. Everything about this screams safe workplace. You know what I'm saying? So here's my forge. I actually need to go do some training. Let's go ahead and hire some people here. Where are we going to hire? Does Nox just have an entire bookmark tab full of links to cow pictures? Probably. Probably. Skill trainer, master trainer, merchant with light armor. We'll take that person. Smith who provides bronze ingots, smith who provides iron ingots, merchant who specializes in unique weapons. Yeah, we'll take the weapons guy, we'll take the iron ingots guy, we'll take the bronze ingots guy, we'll take the metal armor guy, and we'll take Meyer because it's a conquest choice person. Alright, now I need to leave to get my trainers to come back, so that's good. I'm going to go train on my other spires real fast, and I'll come back and mess around with everything on this spire. So first I need to go to Ocean Spire with the oh yeah, this is my dank herb growing place. This is where my Master Lore Trainer is. Which is why I made this my second one. First one I made a library because I was all about getting them sigils and stuff. Second one I had to make the infirmary because that's the only one you could get a Master Lore Trainer, and I needed a Master Lore Trainer so I could keep training Seraphina's lore. Third one, I made the training ground so I could get a Master Dodge Trainer for Verse. And now we're back, and now we return to the master place of growing the dank herb. Look how much we're growing here! I mean, we are not messing around with the growing. There it is. Lots of growing taking place. It's the alchemy place. So, let's come in here. What have you made for me? Oh, look at all this stuff. Potion of Heroes, a Swig of Insight, Awaking Death, Old Water, Azure Bell, Rot Spear, Sable Root, couple healing potions. Creeping Dusk. I've never seen this before. Scouts drink Creeping Dusk to improve their stealth mastery and perceive more of their surroundings. The substance is highly regulated in Kairos' empire, as it is often employed by thieves to burgle honest citizens. Cool. Alright, that'll go to her. Those will go to her. Numbing Agent, Scarlet Poison, Blood Moss, Alchemy Supplies. Okay. Thanks for free stuff. Now we'll go to the Lore Trainer. And we will train up some lore. Beautiful. Them lores gets 160. That's what I'm talking about. Archon of Dank, right? And then we will... We've read this before. Okay, we don't need to do anything else with alchemy or any of that. I can make that creeping dusk. I can make all kinds of stuff, but I don't need to. So I already have way more than enough. Look at all that lore. Archon of Nerds. I know, right? Legit. Okay, now we'll go to my training ground, which is at the Aurora Spire, so that we can train versus dodge, because she needs a few points of dodge. Honestly, her dodge is not that good, and we need to buff it up a little bit for her, so she can maybe occasionally dodge a thing or two. It's like you're growing barrack weed. Yeah, I mean, it is a very high, open-air, windy place, so there's probably not a lot of smell that lingers around the top of these spires. Death Leaper, you're the one. You're the one for me. There we go. 199 dodge. That'll work. And because of her talent, that's also her parry. So 199 dodge and 199 parry. And 89% deflection. Oh my god. She's so amazing. Alright, so that's done. Can't run into the training wheel and get knocked over. Yeah, unfortunately not. It's just decorative. Decorative training wheel. Okay, now we'll go back to our brand new spire. And we've got a lot of people to talk to here. A lot of people. So first, we shall chat with Volus, Master of Smiths.
Greetings, Fatebinder. How may I help you?
Oh, this is where I can use all these different plans that I've found. Tell me about the forge. He gestures at the nearby anvils.
If you want to upgrade your weapons and armor, you can use any of the anvils. It should be simple enough if you've got the materials. If you need something that requires a master smith, like forging a one-of-a-kind item, come talk to me and I'll see what I can do. Is there anything else I can do for you?
I want you to forge something for me.
Certainly, Fatebinder.
Oh, look at all this stuff he can make. Oh, what? Artifacts? Look how many artifacts he can make. Holy shizzle. Okay, hold on. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. How do they even get all that up there? That's a good question. Well, they get pieces, and then they assemble it up here. You know. Besides, magic. Magic. I found reference to a dagger called Heart's Blood. What can you tell me about it?
Heart's Blood? Really? Let me see that book.
He looks at it.
This is incredible. Unfortunately, the information in that book isn't sufficient for me to recreate it. If you were able to give me more information on it, I could probably make it for you.
I found this hilt in the old walls. What can you tell me about it?
That looks like the hilt of Sentinel, one of the finest swords the Forgebound have ever made. With this, I could recreate it if you want.
I found these plans and this metal in the old walls. Can you make this for me?
These are the plans for Scorn, and you have the metal we need to make it.
I also found this helmet in Rust Canyons. What can you tell me about it?
This is the Hawkeye helm. With this, I should be able to recreate it for you.
I want you to forge something for me. So now he should have some of these other... You can research Heart's Blood if you have access to a library. Okay. But he can make the Hawkeye helm. He can make the Sentinel. He can make the Scorn. Sentinel can be created. Yeah, got it. Scorn can be created. Alright, we'll come back to that. We're going to come back to that. The Forge was within them the whole time. Ragus. The man shuffles back further toward the wall behind him, avoiding as much eye contact with the horizon as possible. Oh, he's Forge bound. Because I have favor 3.
Fatebinder.
A large grin flashes across his face, only momentarily masking a continually worried expression.
As poor a time as any to mention I'm not too fond of heights, eh?
He takes in a deep breath and calms himself to the best of his ability.
If I can master this fear, then I can master anything, right?
Show me what you have for sale. Oh my goodness. Char-coated leather girdle. Fire-resistant garments were popularized by the fall of the Vellum Citadel and the influx of scavengers seeking singed manuscripts of forbidden lore. Really, Saito? Really? Oathbound boots, Earthshaker hood, Sage's hood, Sage's robes, Crescent Runner armor, Bloodhound leathers, Scavenger mask, Bloodhound fist wraps, Sage's boots. Nobody trying to wear those boots. Oathbound gloves. Bloodhound hood. Earthshaker robes. Rockbiter vambraces. Rockbiter is the result of a collaboration between the Forgebound and Earthshakers, who poured their knowledge of Cairn's magic into a pair of hardy vambraces. Adds to unarmed damage. And rends target's armor on crit. Huh. And some nice purple Sage's robes. Ragus's exceptional wares. The rust storm has been blowing for so long, I'd forgotten what Stalwart actually looked like.
One moment, my friend.
Doesn't look like he's got...
Of course. How can I help?
Know anything about the region we're in?
The spires predate us all. Of course. How can I help?
Nothing new there. How about Eb?
What is it you need? I'm still amazed we survived the Edict of Execution. The course may out... At your service, Fate. What do you need? What did you have in mind?
Fatebinder! It is... What do you need?
Okay, that's all the same. That's all standard stuff they said before. Okay. Temerin. Also, Forgebound. The man gives you a slight bow with his arms outstretched before him. You can see his arms bear markings both familiar and foreign to you.
Greetings, Fatebinder. I may not be a mystic or a mighty warrior, but what I possess are my connections to the world trade.
You've traveled the world?
Yes, I've seen this empire from one end to another. It would seem that my travels always take me to the very heart of Kairos' conquests.
He crosses his arms and looks off beyond the spire.
Tears, however, they are unlike anything I've seen before. I'm sorry to digress. I'm sure you would like to see my wares.
What's so different about the tears? He clasps his hands together eagerly.
Tears is rich with a long and complicated history. A crucible of sorts for leaders of palpable magnitude. He chuckles to himself. I wouldn't be surprised if Kairos herself was a tearsman eons ago.
Show me what you have for sale. Ravager. Arrows that strike from Ravager's heart are hungry for blood. The superb balance and heavy pull of this bow demand that only masters of archery wield Ravager in battle. But it's not nearly as good as the Grave Bow, right? No, it's not as good as the Grave Bow. Of course it's not. The Grave Bow is an artifact. Pyre Sting Bow. Taut bowstring glows with the light of embers and singes the archer's fingertips. This bow has been suffused with the magic of the former school of Wild Wrath and gives off faint trails of smoke. Sets targets on fire on crit. That's pretty sweet. Dusk Claw. This push dagger has an affinity for darkness, leading many to believe that it was once owned by Bled and Mark, Archon of Shadows. Even that distant possibility has caused it to gather dust under merchant display cases, as few would risk drawing the Archon's gaze by purchasing his possessions. Plus 20% extra damage at night is pretty cool. If she were to wield her 2 daggers, this isn't really that great compared to what she's got, though. Iron Axe, Iron Heater Shield. No, nobody wants that. Alright, let's sell some stuff. We're about to make a ton of money, because look how much shit we have to sell. I'll hold on to Mark of the Tribe just because. You know, I just thought of something. Don't sell that stuff yet. Wait. You know, I just thought about this. She's been wearing these crappier gloves for a long time because of the Control Gravelight. She doesn't even use any Gravelight spells. She doesn't need plus 10 Control Gravelight. So I should give her one of these better sets of gloves. Didn't I have multiple sets of purple gloves in here? Maybe I just have that one set. Oh no, see? She's got tons. Oh, I see what I accidentally did. That's not great. Get back in there, get back in there, get back in there. Get back in there. Wait, no, I want the Creeping Dusk. Bring that back out. Get back in there. There, now she's got, I think these are all exactly the same statistically speaking. So it's just a matter of deciding which ones I like the look of the best. There's those, or those, or those. I like the fingerless. Then I can sell these 3 pairs of gloves. You know what else I can sell? A whole bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to use. Actually, I don't need to sell any of that yet. I'm going to have way more money than I can possibly. Yeah, I'm in Act 2, What's going on, Masker Man? How you doing? Hey, it's not 80. It's like 75, 76, plus, you know, time AFK on breaks and stuff. Alright, so now, let's sell some shit. I'll keep the Mark of the Tribe. Keep those things, even though they're probably nothing. Sell that cheese. Look how much money I have. 24 iron rings. I mean, considering that stuff, like, the best stuff available, like this, is, you know, only costs like an iron ring or slightly more than an iron ring, or maybe 2 iron rings. I mean, I just sold them this axe, but that is so much money to have. Pretty good. Still pretty intense. You're pretty intense? Or what's pretty intense? Sigil of Piercing. Causes a distant impact spell to pierce through its target in a line. What spells can I put that on? Distant impact. What spells are distant impact? I don't think I really use any distant impact spells. Besides healing wisps. She could put it on her taunt. I think they use an... Oh! Electric Jolt. Oh, but that's got Sigil of Stunning on it. Put it on Rhyme Spike, but that's got Frostfire, so we're not going to replace that. Frostfire is too good. I just got my 5th Spire.
One moment, my...
No, get off me, Lantry. Hills and Shadow have anything new to say?
Fate Binder wants Beast Woman?
Had any good hunts lately?
Good, yep. And many more than 5. Looked through strange-smelling graveyard of sage mystics and a light of new moon. Dug, but only found rat-gnawed human bones.
Good to know. Never mind. Here's Meyer. This was somebody that I have here because of a conquest decision. Oh, it's a Blood Chanter. The Blood Chanter stands with arms crossed, casually watching the goings-on of the forge with little to no expression. He glares at you while you approach. I'm going to glare back at him. He glares back. I'm going to glare back at him. His eyes slightly narrow as he continues to glare. I'm going to continue glaring. His glare continues as a small bead of sweat forms above his brow. I'm going to continue glaring. His glare intensifies, the beads of sweat now meandering through every crevice of his face. I'm going to continue glaring. His intense glare finally breaks with a grin. I like you, Fate Binder. How may I be of service? I'd like to train. He nods to you and motions for you to come closer. I lied. I don't want to train either of those things. Ooh, a bunch of bronze ignots. Never seen anything as brilliant as the light from a spire when it's been awoken. Here's Vora. Forgebound again. The young Forgebound kneels down, her eyes fixed on the molten metal cascading down into the forge. You've never seen anything like this in all my years. She stands up and dusts off her knees. I appreciate the opportunity you've given me. Please, take a look at my wares. Show me what you have for sale. Heavy bronze armor, forge-bound armor, iron foot knockers. These intimidating boots look perfect for kicking through doorways or urging a hauler forward on the war trail. They give you vitality and resolve. Those are nice. I mean, they're heavy armor, so nobody in my party's gonna wear it, but... Helm... An ashen cowl. This cowl derives its properties from the protective magics employed by sages in the Vellum Citadel. Much like the timeless manuscripts that survive the Edict of Fire, the wearer of the cowl will suffer no significant injury by fire. Immunity to burning. That's pretty nice. But I don't think anybody would actually wear that in my team. Oh, it's an accessory! It's not a head item. Interesting. Still don't think anybody on my team would wear that. This is the greatest thing. The glare off. Yeah, the glare off was pretty good. Ignatz. Hey, Eisenkreutzer, how's it going? Or Kreutzer? Not sure how to say your name, but good to see ya. So much glaring. How did Siren's lower body not burst into flame walking across a trail of liquid hot metal? Because there's that little grate right there. See? That little grate right there somehow filters the heat so you can walk across there without any problems. That's how it works. That little grate stops the heat. And magic also. Nobody has a robe that would have touched the anything. Magic. Also, that little metal grate right there protects everybody. You can just stand right on it, see, and you're fine. Wasn't looking forward to the climb to the top when I was hired. I was relieved you had that device down there. Here's Thantos, master of brazing. Serafina! The briefest of smiles crosses his face and is gone as quickly as the light flickers across it. If what they say is true about the magic of these spires, it will be my distinct honor to work for you among these forges. What have you made for me? I don't have anything for you at the moment. Check back later. Alright, fine, master of brazing. Got some iron ignots. Skies are beginning to become a lot clearer. Everything's explained by magic.
My Lord Binder, what can I do for you?
Here we have Praxis, Master of Smelting, and also Master of Augmentations, if your name is Adam Jensen. The man bows deeply before you.
Esteemed Fatebinder Serafina, with so many hours spent in the forge, we artisans are a bit prone to gossip. Needless to say, the Fatebinder of the Mountain Spire has been the subject of many a conversation while working the bellows.
He fidgets with his hammer anxiously for a moment before lowering his voice.
If I may be so bold, I have a question for you.
Ask away. Praxis's eyes light up with the same intensity of the forge behind him.
From where does Kairos' power truly stem? Is it from the magic of edicts? Is it from archons, or perhaps from the loyal subjects and their toil?
Let's see. Shrug. Just shrug. I don't know. Too big for the teleporter. See those giant pots? That's what I'm talking about. How did they get those solid pieces of metal? They brought them up in pieces and then fused them together with magic. Duh. Alright, what can I say here? Archons are the true source of power. Commoners of the world are the source of power. Edicts are the crux of the power. Honestly, I think it's fucking edicts, honestly. Edicts are the crux of Kairos' power. Powerful magic that can shape the very landscape, give Kairos' dominion over our reality.
I hadn't considered that. When the winds can be stirred by her very utterance, who's to question her control?
Praxis quietly nods to himself for a moment, almost forgetting you were ever there.
My apologies for indulging myself in the philosophical. Is there anything I can do for you?
What have you made for me? In before nothing right now.
I don't have anything for you at the moment. Check back later.
Thanks, Praxis. Thanks for nothing. Alright, so there's two things I can do now. No. Who was the other person that had shit for sale? Regus? Do I want any of this stuff? I might want some of this stuff. Not that, per se, but... Sage's boots... Apparently those... Oh, she's not going to switch out, though, from the boots she's wearing. Actually, what does she have? Blood of the Fallen. Do I ever even use this? Do I even need this? It's kind of fun to use, though, so... I'll hold on to it. Nobody wants these boots, right? No. What about these gloves? These gloves should be basically identical to what everybody's already wearing. Yeah, they are. How about this? Robes. Fan braces. Sage's robes. The only other thing is this hood. Somebody should probably wear this hood. Yeah, because it's better than basically everything that any of us are wearing. So we're going to buy this hood. And that's it. Let's put that on her. 170 accuracy. And then this helm is, I lose a little shock armor, but I gain deflection and accuracy. She would gain deflection and accuracy. She can't switch. She would gain shock armor, but she would lose 20% damage at night. That's not worth it. We'll get rid of the shock armor one. Alright, feeling good. Now, there's two other things I can do here. I can go to Volus Master of Smiths and have him make me some badass shit, or I can improve my shit on these anvils right here. Select a weapon or armor from your inventory to upgrade. So let's say I'm like, hey, let's go to Verse, for example, and I was like, I want to upgrade Dauntless. This item cannot be upgraded. Okay? I want to upgrade Tireless Protector. I can upgrade it to Masterwork, giving her a tiny bit more dodge, one more point of dodge, and a little bit faster recovery time. Takes 6 hours, and it costs 50 bronze rings and 7 iron ignots. Let's say I wanted to upgrade her little chest armor here. Cannot be upgraded. Cannot be upgraded. Cannot be upgraded. This I could upgrade and get a little bit of extra deflection. Costs 7 hides, a bronze ignot, and 50 bronze rings, and it takes 2 hours. This can be upgraded. Okay, what if I want to upgrade my staff? I could. Alright, so the person whose stuff upgrading the most important is the tank. How did I get so much money? Everybody asks me that. Like, I don't, like, they're like, how did you get so much treasure? Like when I had a ton of stuff to sell, or how did you get so much money? All I did was looted everything that's on every map and sold most of it. Ignots is an inside joke. Well, it's just a deliberate mispronunciation of ingots. Because sometimes people mispronounce it that way, so then other people mispronounce it that way on purpose because it then becomes a joke. It's kind of that sort of thing. All I did to get that much money... Well, yeah, you never had that kind of cash because you finished the game in 37 hours. If you spent 100 hours finishing the game like I'm probably going to, then you have that much money. Not that anyone else should ever spend as much time as I do. I'm just looking at the chat real quick because it kind of got past me here. It's module-based iron pots. Edicts. Praxis seems like the kind of person you shouldn't leave near the edge. He's one absent-minded pace away from being Praxis paced. Many episodes of self-defense were involved in getting the money, yeah. I move really slow and collects a lot of shit like tumbleweed. I am like tumbleweed. Most you ever had was 6 iron rings. You're constantly spending rings on upgrades. Well, that's it too. I haven't really spent very much money on anything. Much, because I don't have any heavy armor users in my party. I have 3 mages and a light armor tank. So I haven't really needed to spend much money on anything so far. I'm about to spend some money because I'm about to upgrade all of her stuff that I can upgrade. So... can I upgrade this bow? No. No, what? Go back. You know what? Before I upgrade anything, though, I should look and see what I can have forged. Because if I'm going to get a new thing forged, then I obviously shouldn't upgrade the old thing if I'm about to buy a new thing. So let's go over here and see what the forge guy has that he can make. Yeah, I've got almost 24 iron rings. I've got some other things I could sell here too, really, that I don't need to carry around. Like plus... Well, that's all quest items and shit. But I have a lot of potions too. I almost never use potions. Yeah, I focused on high lore. I went with the Herb Mastery Spire because there was a Master Lore Trainer there, exactly. So I'm all about that lore. Even my tank, even my fighter has 79 lore. And the others, of course, all have quite a bit. 160, 153, 133. Siren's catching up. She's catching up. She started with really fucking low lore when she joined my party, disappointingly. But she's catching up pretty good. Alright, let's see what this guy can make for me. Now, you might be asking yourself, is Josiah going to read the item description of every one of these fucking items that can be made at this guy? Because that sounds like it'll take a long time and be annoying. Guess what? The answer is yes. Yes, I am. So here we go. I can make alchemist... Wow, that's got a long description. Alchemist gloves. The leather padding surrounding these gloves is dotted with sewn pockets containing herbs, lozenges, and packets of powder commonly found in healing remedies. Gloves like these were originally designed centuries ago by the Archon of Humors, an accomplished magician known in his day for destabilizing the balance of liquids in his enemies. With a flick of his wrist, he would cause internal hemorrhaging, mood adjustments, and unforgettable bowel disruption. The Archon of making people have to take a shit. Whole battles were won by his spellcasting, which left enemy combatants clutching their guts and leaking uncontrollably. Oh, don't get this guy together with Barrick. When there wasn't an uprising to quell, the Archon made use of his time improving upon accepted healing techniques. He even invented several of the practices commonly found today. Leeching and the siphoning of fluids came from his influence, and herbs long avoided as poisons were repurposed for purging solutions. Many of his lesser-known advancements in the healing art are of questionable validity and should be used with caution. This fucking guy. Archon of Brown Note, Archon of X-Lax. Maybe Barrick is the new Archon of Humors. Alright, so what this does for you is it gives you plus 20 control life, and it gives you an ability called Orb of Life. Launch an orb of healing energy at a location. On impact, the orb creates a zone of restorative energy that will periodically heal any party member within the area. The amount of healing scales with the Alchemist Gloves renowned. I gotta have this! This has my name all over it. So if I want to forge this, it requires 1 iron ring, 10 hide. I've got 25 hide. It takes a long time. Now, can they only forge one thing at a time? I would assume he can only forge one thing at a time. Commander's plate. Okay, hold on. What does it do? Modify some stuff. It's heavy armor. Instantly swap positions with a companion. Alright, nobody in my party is going to wear this. But I'm still going to read about it. This bronze armor is inspired by the garb of the great northern warlords, who initially opposed the dominion of Kairos. The value of this armor cannot measure up to the actual breastplates of the true warlords, as the wealth of entire realms went into their elaborate forging. Since those deserving of such pieces were few and far between, the old kings and queens of the north were happy to spoil their generals with trappings that required the craft of whole civilizations to assemble, from the complex and intricate metallurgy to the bejeweled fittings and enchantments tailored for the much-celebrated wearer. In spite of the expenditure of effort and resources, such armor was never handed down the family line as would be tradition today. If the warlord's remains were recovered by the home nation, the armor would be ceremonially melted down and destroyed. During the Overlord's conquest of the North, enough such champions died far from home that the knowledge of their armor eventually made its way to the Forge-bound. You recognize engravings in the pauldrons as fragments of ancient battle poetry, their full relevance lost along with their language of origin. Whether or not this measures up to the original design, it should be worn with pride. Okay, hold on a second. So you're telling me you're armoring yourself with poetry? What kind of spoony bard shit is this? I'm armored in poetry! No enemy weapon shall pierce my metaphors! Alright, so poetry armor. Got it. The Archon of Uncontrollable Shitting's gloves are apparently so representative of Josiah's person that they have his name all over them. Yeah, Archon of Uncontrollable Shitting, for real. Real. Or what about Crashing Thunder? It's a hammer. It lands with a resonating. I don't think I've ever heard resonating used in that way before. Maybe. A resonating crash of thunder that puts victims in a state of shock. So what does it really do? It's two-handed, nobody in my party is going to use it, but I'm still curious. Pushes the enemy and stuns on... Oh, that's really good. Okay, that's really cool. Deathbringer. Apparently I can make it as a one-hander or a two-handed axe. That's pretty awesome. But it's the same either way, right? In terms of what it does and everything. I mean, obviously the stats will be different. Two-hander will do more damage. Alright, let's read about Deathbringer. That sounds cool. They built their empire on rock and roll. The Forge-bound assembled Deathbringer using materials extracted from the burning library. The axe was inspired by a mighty weapon that lies shattered in the Forge-bound guild hall. The iron blade had no name, and even that of its creator was lost to time. The known facts amount to stories of a fire that swept through the forges. The smiths conjured flames had whipped into an uncontrollable frenzy and made the area impassable for several days. Once the flames had cooled, the axe was found in the wreckage, a single crack running down the blade, making the effort and extraordinary results for naught. To this day, the axe is used as an example of art's impermanence. Desiring an equally caustic blade with improved longevity, the Forge-bound sought to recreate Deathbringer. It is speculated that the obsidian shards dredged from the devastation of the burning library retain some echo of power from the Edict of Fire, which may be the secret to this axe's powers. Not even the Forge-bound understand Kairos' magic well enough to tell for certain. The target loses 5 vitality on crit. And it has the ability Scythe of Years. Damage all enemies in a cone, ignoring their armor. All helpful effects on the targets are removed. Damage scales with Deathbringer's renown. That sounds like a pretty cool weapon. I like that you can make it one-handed or two-handed. What is elegance? It's a spear. This spear was assembled with a simple design that belies its intentionality. Its head flashes with brilliant light when thrust, and it cuts the air with a song-like utterance. Cool. It's basically just a spear that gives you some plus control emotions and plus accuracy. That's actually really nice. You know, theoretically, Verse would use this if she didn't already have better stuff. Enchanted cloth slippers. These slippers were sewn from fine materials. Their intent is to allow the navigation of serene royal grounds without disruption. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be navigating any serene royal grounds, so I don't really see those working for me. I'm familiar with that I Am a Rock, I Am an Island song, but I'm not familiar with that line about books and poetry and shielded in armor. Only Siren can equip this, I see. +1 finesse, plus 10% magic defense. Only Siren can equip it. Is this something I would want for her? +1 finesse is nice. Base 2% deflection. Well, she would lose some deflection for sure. But +1 finesse, you can't really go wrong with +5. So I should make that for her. So I want to make the alchemist gloves. I want to make these enchanted cloth slippers. What's the Hawkeye helm? Hawkeye is a reimagined Scarlet Fury's helmet, adorned with feathers and eye slits that allow for overall improved visibility. It's got some nice deflection, I guess, and plus 10 accuracy. That's pretty good. Somebody in my party would wear this. So this is something else I wouldn't mind making. Headhunter. The design of this blade was inspired by an isolated tribe of northern cannibals who lived in ignorance of Kairos. In 93 TR, the Overlord's army butchered the last of their number in self-defense. Prior to their downfall, the tribe used weapons like this to hunt servants of Kairos. Extra damage for every part of missing health. That's not that cool. The Hierarch's robes. Another artifact. Deep within my womb. That's a strange line. The Forgebound initially conceived of the Hierarch's robes as a means of protecting their smiths from the dangers of conjured flame. Weaving together fragments of cloth from disparate mage guilds produced a result altogether more useful than they could have imagined. A protective garment that combines the tolerances of otherwise distinct arcane traditions. Robes like these were similarly assembled by Ponto the Agglomerate. Now that's a name right there. Who are you? I am Ponto the Agglomerate. No, you're not. No, you're really not. Yes, I really am. I really am. No, come on, you're not. That's dumb. You're not that. That's not really your nickname. It is. No, I am Ponto the... Shut up. Just shut up. Don't even say Agglomerate again. Don't even let that shit fall out your mouth. I am the Agglomerate! Alright, that's it. I'm gonna have to kill you now. I understand. A resentful mage who had been rejected by most of the major guilds and thought himself superior to the arcane establishment. Agglomerator's gonna agglomerate. Know what I'm saying? He set off into the wilderness with the aim of founding his own course of study, and was not seen for many years. He was too busy agglomerating himself. He later reappeared while breaking into the chambers of Mage Guild elders, cutting at their robes and murdering those who caught him in the frenzied act. The legalities of his research were put into question. Some argued that the rite of magician's folly protected Ponto, the agglomerate, from punishment, but Kairos' peace was also to be upheld. In the end, a coterie of apprentices from disparate guilds assembled at Ponto's last known hiding spot and accidentally bombarded it with arcane force, within their rights destroying all but a few ragged strips of cloth. So they did not like Ponto the Agglomerate. Well, I'd rather be a hammer than a nail makes perfect sense. I mean, you immediately understand what that means and why someone would say it. But deep within my womb, what do you mean? You mean your own personal womb? Do you have a womb and you're inside your own womb? Or you're inside a womb which belongs to you? Why would you be in a womb? If you were in a womb, you haven't been born yet. Are you saying you haven't been born yet? Are you saying you're still in the process of being formed and you're within something that is like a womb to you? I mean, what do you mean by that? You could mean all kinds of stuff. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail is completely straightforward. Oh, that's not how it's going to be on my disfavored playthrough. That character's not going to give a fuck. That character's going to be all about whatever Kairos wants is right, whatever is good for the disfavored is right. Period. I don't care who I have to kill, I don't care what dies. There is nothing but the will of the Overlord. That character's going to be like a professional soldier, just all in on the fucking conquest. Whereas this character that I'm playing now is kind of good-ish. In ways. What does this give you? 10 to all magic skills. That's nice. Aspect of nightmares. Draw forth the form of a horrifying mask of energy. All enemies within a cone become terrified. Duration of the terrified affliction. Scales of the hierarch's rope. I might make these. I might make these for my main character. Or one of my other characters. Plus 10 to all magic skills is no joke. Okay, so that's another one I might make. Locked iron gauntlets. These gauntlets cleverly latch onto the back of an equipped shield, preventing it from being knocked out of the wielder's hand. What? That sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, you could just have straps on the back of the shield. Okay. If you lock it to your arm, then what if you wanna... Alright. Okay. Immunity disarmed. Sure. Nobody's gonna wear that. Nightwalker's boots sound good. Not enough materials to add Nightwalker's boots. Really? Not enough material. What materials do I need? Apparently I need an obsidian fragment. For this, apparently I need a hound's hide mantle. These dark and supple boots are made from the hide of a powerful beastman hunter. Alright, so these are some edgelord's boots right here. How could Kairos' peace be upheld when he just murdered them? Unless they attribute it to crazy magic. Well, keep in mind that in this world, in the laws of Kairos, mages have a certain special protection under the law. Where as long as they're using magic in the pursuit of Kairos' glory, or the pursuit of Kairos' aims, anything that magic does, they're okay. They're covered. If they blow up a whole fucking city block with their magic and kill everyone and destroy all the businesses and shit, but they were doing it for some reason that was pursuant with the aims of Kairos, any damage they did is fine. If they cast spells during battle and they accidentally kill some of their own people, they're good to go. They're protected by it. It's the Mage's Folly law. Or whatever it's called, something folly. Basically, you can do anything you want with magic and you can't be blamed as long as you can somehow prove that you were using the magic for, the benefit of Kairos somehow. Which sounds like a particular loophole I would love playing with. Josiah is currently being the same guy who made a big deal of Joe Deaver writing that a sign said something rather than read something. Yeah, well, I mean, I just wanted to know if it was a talking sign or not. Well, yeah, stabbing people because of crazy robes does sound a little goofy. Alright, anyway, let's keep reading about the edgelord's boots. Some of what the beast possessed in life endures in death, which has been augmented by runes pertaining to the Archon of Shadows. In addition to Bledenmark's name, less recognizable sigils seem to glow with power, though fall short of disrupting the darkness. One familiar rune corresponds to the name of an Archon of Shadows who was a purported beast woman herself. A peerless stalker and trapper who eschewed human civilization and lived for untold centuries. It was said that she moved from one wilderness to the next, working her way through the local prey until she was the uncontested alpha, and would then move on, intent on becoming the dominion over all nature. Whether Kairos proved her wrong, or she still lurks in the wilderness, is a matter of speculation. So you get some perception distance and some trap detection, and you get Shadow Stride. Teleport behind an enemy and attack, dealing significant bonus damage. These would be kind of nice for verse. Damage increases with the boots, but I don't really care that much about those. Okay, so what else we got? We got Pride of the Forgotten. Unfortunately, it's a parry shield, not a dodge shield, so I won't be using this for verse. Oh, plus it says only Barrett can equip it. This shield is patterned off the lid of a traditional northern sarcophagus. That's weird. I block with a sarcophagus lid. I'm already ready. When I die, I can just lay down and hold my shield over me, and I'm already buried. Runes engraved into the metal offer arcane words of protection and longevity. It is much too heavy for an average soldier to wield, and only a northerner would appreciate its meaning. Gives a bunch of parry, not much dodge. You take half damage while health is below 35%. That's strong. That's real strong. I could see myself making this for Barrack in my playthrough when I actually use Barrack. Well, actually no, Saito. She could still be alive, theoretically. She could have just been stripped of the title of Archon of Shadows by Kairos and the title could have been given to Bledenmark instead, and she could still be alive if she had eluded. I mean, she wouldn't be supposed to be alive. Presumably, in that case, she'd no longer be working for Kairos, which means she would be, you know, enemy number one, killer, killer, killer. But if she's so clever and sneaky, maybe she's actually stayed alive somehow, hiding in the wilderness, and they haven't been able to find her and kill her, and she's not technically the Archon of Shadows anymore because she's been stripped of the title, but she could still be alive, as I understand things. As I understand things. That's a possibility. Tell me about Sentinel. Fighters who live to an advanced age will adopt swords like Sentinel early in their career. Tradition holds that the wielder etches a tasteful representation of their life's path along the flat of the blade, and anyone who picks it up after their death will know their story. This practice gave way to complicated laws of inheritance that has faded from popularity. How do you etch a representation of your life's path into a blade? What does that even mean? I don't even know how I would represent my life's path in an etching. What would you even etch? I don't even... I'd have to fucking put, like, I don't know, some kind of etching representing insanity, and, like, some handcuffs, and a whole lot of laying around doing nothing. How do you etch that exactly? I mean, how do you etch your life's path? What does it do? It gives you extra health. Oh, it heals you for 5% health every 6 seconds while you have wounds. That's pretty nice. But it's not nice enough that I would actually... Oh, it's a two-hander. Oh, it's a two-hander. Not really, Saito. They get their power, okay? And that technically makes them an Archon in the sense that they have the power of an Archon. But they're not officially an Archon until Kairos names them one and gives them a title. At that point, they're officially an Archon. Before that, or maybe after that, they still have the power of an Archon, but they're not, you know, technically an Archon. Like, they don't have the legal status of being an Archon or whatever. So theoretically, there could be 3 people alive that all have super flame powers and could conceivably be the Archon of Fire, but only one of them is actually the Archon of Fire. I mean, conceivably, that's a possibility. In practice, usually the people are already dead long before another one comes along that has the same power, the same title. Silken gloves. We got some silken gloves here. Fine gloves are often worn by royal pages or the servants of Archons while attempting to stay out from underfoot during the execution of their duties. +1 finesse. Like to make those as well. Those are pretty nice. Simplicity. Okay, hold on. Well, there is only one official Archon at any given time. Yeah, Saito. There's only one person who has the title of Archon of whatever. That doesn't mean there's only one person who has the power, because they talked about how a lot of people started becoming Archons, but then got killed before they could actually become one, or, you know, that they had the power of being an Archon, but they didn't want to bow to Kairos and officially become an Archon, so they just killed him. They said that you're not officially an Archon until Kairos says you are. But you could still have all of the power that an Archon has before officially being declared an Archon by Kairos. Alright, we read about Silken Gloves. We're going to read about Simplicity next, but that is going to be on our next episode, because I got to end this one. Now, if you're watching the stream, I am not done playing, but if you're watching on YouTube, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Tyranny.